Boom. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of 10 Unedited Minutes with Marlena. We have, you know what? I can't talk today. I didn't want to do this podcast this morning. I literally stalled for a good hour. Literally. Like, what else can I do besides come in here and record this podcast? But listen, I've said this a million times. I set goals for myself, and if I don't meet those goals, I feel worse than I feel about recording this podcast this morning. So, anyway, back to where I was stumbling my words. We are streaming today on TikTok Live. I'm recording for YouTube, and I'm talking into this beautiful microphone that sometimes I think is my best friend, just like I started. So I got to figure out where to place it. Okay. Because I think that matters. So what are we doing today? Today is the first day in a while that I don't have any concrete plans planned out for the day. And I didn't have any concrete topic planned out for this podcast. So this morning, I wake up, and as if you've been listening for a while, you know my routine: get up, look at my phone, go get ready, blah, 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 blah. And as I'm scrolling on Facebook, I have a lot of religious sayings come up on my feed just because that's my algorithm. And there was one that I read. I feel like I read this on Facebook this morning. There was one that I read that said you should look at yourself in the mirror, and instead of looking at yourself, look at what God created. And that kind of hit me differently. I don't know why, but so I go, and when I'm getting ready this morning, I didn't do much to get ready. As you can see, I have no makeup on. My hair is whatever. But I'm looking, and I just kind of stopped for a minute. And yeah, look at what God has created. It's hard. It's hard to think about good things about yourself. And it's probably hard to think, I don't know. It's a lot easier to think negative thoughts about yourself than it is positive thoughts about yourself. But God put the positive thoughts in my head, and then he's like, what are you grateful for today? And, being grateful for teeny tiny little things is kind of life-changing. And I kind of shifted that mentality a while ago. But, as you're, hi Beth, oh my gosh, I miss my girl. As you're sweeping your kitchen, for example, you could be sitting there bitching the day away because nobody else wants to sweep this kitchen. Instead, be grateful that you have a kitchen floor to sweep, right? Instead, be grateful that you have a bathroom mirror to look in, too, right? Be grateful for the little things. I need to start setting a timer again. That really helped me. I've just been using my YouTube recorded timer, but let's set a timer today, guys. So anyway, try to be grateful for the small things in life, the little things in life, the big things in life. Celebrate the big things and look for the positive in the things that aren't so good. So yeah, I think it's going to be nice. I heard the weather's supposed to start warming up around here, which I'm excited about. I got my rain barrel set yesterday. I'm excited about that. I got some more planted in my garden. I'm excited about that. Today I'm going to work on some social media for my daughter's massage therapy clinic and get that blasted out there and introduced. But I don't know. Today's, what the heck was that? Something just rumbled outside. The sun is shining. It wasn't thunder. So what else can we be great? It's hard to talk about what you're grateful for too. And it's hard when you don't have anything to talk about. It's just hard to talk, right? And nothing spectacular happened. Last night, my daughter called me up screaming because she was in some kind of pain, and I started driving to her house, and she's like, "Mom, turn around. This is crazy." I think she just had to go to the bathroom. But I was thinking about that and reflecting on that too, and it's like maybe um, it shows that I will do anything for my kiddos. And even as they are adults, you still will do anything for your kiddos. And she's like, "You're being ridiculous, Mom. You don't need to come." It was like 10 o'clock at night. And, she's pregnant and she's having a high risk pregnancy. And, when she's laying on the floor screaming in pain, you're like, "Oh my God, we have to do something about it." Well, I think she just needed to poop. But she hasn't responded to me yet this morning. She went to sleep last night. So hopefully that's all it is, because hopefully we're just so on edge about this pregnancy. And and we will be until that sweet little baby is in our arms. But so say some prayers for my daughter, just prayers for comfort, because there aren't any words that can take this fear away from you. The only way that it can go away is when that baby is born and the baby is healthy. After you have lost, a baby in, pregnancy, either miscarriage or stillbirth, it's hard. It's hard. And it's, people, some people will look at 9 months of being pregnant as, beautiful and, joyful. But after you lose a baby like that, it's not. It's worrisome, it's agonizing, and, you know, joyful too. That's the whole thing about that whole grieving process after Tiana was born, right? Like, I was thinking about that too. Like, it was so weird to me as I'm grieving the loss of my granddaughter. You're grieving, you're like, she was born, she was stillborn, right? But you still miss her. And I think it's, you miss the milestones that she would have, had. You miss the night, laughing about the sleepless nights your daughter would have had with her and all this stuff. Which, by the way, when my oldest granddaughter was born, my daughter still lived with me. So I am anxious to see how they handle this sweet little baby. I can't wait. I told her, I said, I'll probably be spending the night at your house for the first week or two. And I don't know. I don't know if I can sleep on a couch for that long, but anyway, anyway, enough about that. I'm excited. I'm excited about this grandbaby, and I love my current grandbaby. She's, the light of my life. And it's funny, I on TikTok the other day I saw this neurologist. I think my daughter shared this. But this neurologist came on and he was explaining how a mother or a grandmother feels differently about her grandchildren. And he said there's neurological scientific evidence that shows this. And the reason, I'm going to try to sum this up as easy as I can, but the reason, he said, is when you're a mother, you are worried about keeping that baby alive. You have to worry about all the things. And when you're a grandmother, you're there for emotional support. And that alone, like that, taking the stress of, oh, I don't have to be the person to keep this child alive. I just have to support the person that needs to keep this child alive. And that changes, the whole dynamic of your relationship with your grandchildren. And it's true, right? It's true. I love my daughters dearly, and it was proven last night. I would literally drop everything and do anything for them. But there's just something about that grandbaby that you just can't get enough. You just can't get enough. And I would drop anything, break down any walls just to get to her if I had to. So if you guys are on the cusps of being grandparents, it's amazing. It's such a good, it's it's just fun. It's a fun club to join. And everything is funny. Everything is funny. When you piss your daughter off because, you're laughing at something that truly pisses her off that her daughter did, it, it's joyful. Everything about it. If I need a pick me up, I just think of my little granddaughter and boom, it's right there. And pretty soon I'm going to have two granddaughters, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait until this second granddaughter is, a year old and walking and giving sass, showing her attitude. And oh boy, I'm anxious to see what her personality is going to be like, because my daughters were the complete opposite. They both were, pretty badass when it got down to it, but one was a lot more outspoken than the other. One was a lot more carefree than the other, and one was more of a neat freak than the other. And if you truly know me and you truly know my daughters, you could pick out which one of those in every single scenario that I just gave, because it's pretty obvious. But I love them equally. I'm equally proud of them. They're both, rocking and rolling in the life that they're building right now. And it's just amazing. So, holy moly, for not having nothing to talk about this morning, we sure went a little deep, and we went a little joyful. We went a little unjoyful. That's my life. That's my life. So, anyway, you guys, I'm going to get off here and get my day started. I don't have a lot to do today, but I do have a lot to do today. You know how that is. So, you guys have a blessed day. I love you all. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for listening to my rambling nonsense day in and day out. One of these days, I am going to have something impactful and useful to say. And I'm still working on that piece for the beef industry. And hopefully in the next day, I think that we'll be able to just sit down and talk. But anyway, I love you all. Have a great day. Pray for me. I will pray for you. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.